Of the hundreds of paintball tournaments thrown all over the world every year, there is no event that carries more weight or prestige than the Nxl World Cup. It's a massive moment with over 600 teams across multiple formats. It's a chaotic cauldron where the best players and teams in the world collide, a high-heat forge of paintball legends. Succeed here, and your name is engraved on the game forever. A win at World Cup not only makes your year, it can make a career. This tournament is a monster, and if you want to win here, then you better become a monster too. In Las Vegas, Edmonton Impact proved that they still reigned at the top of the game. They had changed up the roster, but the result was the same. But it wouldn't stay that way. The Russian Legion laid waste to the top teams to take first in Texas. Their full-field aggressive onslaught made it look like 2019 would be their year. But then San Antonio X Factor took over, unleashing 5 years of frustration as they blasted through their opponents, winning 14 matches and going undefeated for 2 events in a row, taking over the top spot with 2 big victories. Now, all eyes and guns are pointed their way as they sit at the #1 spot heading into World Cup. Our defending champs Houston Heat has been quietly consistent all year, taking a 2nd, a 4th, a 5th, and a 3rd place.
6-time World Cup winner right here.
World Cup has been their preferred battleground in the past, and with their star-studded roster, it wouldn't shock anyone if they won 2 World Cups in a row. AC Dallas has made the finals twice this year, 4 times overall, but they have yet to earn the top prize. Maybe the World Cup battle will bring out the beast in the rest of the field, as the Pro Division is deep with challengers who are eager to fight for a spot at the top. San Diego Dynasty, Baltimore Rebel, Los Angeles Infamous, the LA Iron, Seattle Thunder, Tampa Bay Damage, Seattle Uprising, New York Extreme, Sacramento DMG, San Diego Aftermath, Fort Wayne Outlaws, PC Katana, Green Bay Boom, the ML Kings, and Scottsdale Elevation. The stage is set for the biggest battle of the year, the Nxl World Cup, broadcasting live from Orlando, Florida, November 7th through the 10th, only on GoSports.com.
Welcome back, 2019 Nxl Chicago Open, the 4th stop on the tour, the best paintball tournament series on planet Earth. And we are here at the Gaelic Park. I'm Matty Marshall alongside Todd Martinez. Well, it's set here in the semifinals, the professional division. After the conclusion of these matches, we'll wait for the finals. That's going to be going down this afternoon, but we will have all the divisional finals. We got awards to give out for that. We got the Top Gun still to be awarded as well, too. But right before we jump into discussing this match, definitely want to give a big shout out to and bring some awareness. So World Cup November is Epilepsy Awareness Month, and one of our producers and one of our best friends, Mike Peveril, his son has a very rare form of epilepsy, and you can see there on your screen. And so it's the SCN8A type of epilepsy, and it's a fascinating story. You can find more about it on their Facebook page at Motivated4Mav. That's for the number 4 and then Mav, M-A-V, is Maverick is his name. So they've actually had a new team started called the Mavericks that is actually getting some support from the league. And Todd, this is a really good, awesome story of a very motivated father and mother to go to bat for their son and find out that this specific type of epilepsy needs to be treated differently. So hopefully not just saving his life, but the lives of lots of other children too. So it's a really good thing that that Mike Peveril has been trying to do here, Todd.
Yeah, I mean it's got to be tough, when it's your son, and every day, you're trying to do everything you can to try and help him out, but then to go above and beyond to try and make sure that, other children across the world, don't have to go through a lot of the same things that, some of these kids already have.
And you guys made some jerseys for the Mavericks, correct?
Yeah, we're trying to do what we can, too, to help support the foundation. So you can go to weapons.com and you can purchase one of the jerseys, one of the DC Mavericks jerseys in support. Everything's going to Pev's foundation, and we're just here to do what we can.
Okay, so now getting into this conversation about the semifinals. It's going to be AC Dallas taking on San Diego Dynasty and also X Factor taking on Houston Heat. So Todd, let's start with AC Dallas and Dynasty. It is pretty interesting that Dynasty just had to scrap and fight through not just you guys this morning, but also Tampa Bay Damage. And AC Dallas is another team that traditionally plays a little slower brand of paintball. However, they do have more offensive threats, at least that we've seen in the tactics that, compared to what Damage was bringing to what AC is bringing with BJ Henningberg and the way that Brad McCurley and Matt Jackson. I mean, they know TJ Danner, though, still, as he still busted his knee up and not playing here at this event. So this is going to be an interesting test for AC Dallas and San Diego Dynasty. So very much looking forward to this one. Todd, what do you think about this matchup?
Well, I mean, this one is definitely going to be interesting because we watched Damage play, and Damage, they tried to slow it down, and the clock became a big problem for them. And when they had to win a fast point, they weren't able to do it. So AC Dallas, we do know they are capable of playing, both styles of paintball. So, they were able to get off to a good fast start against the Russians, and then were able to hold that lead when the Russians tried to come back later. But Dynasty's been playing some solid paintball, so this actually should be a really good matchup.
Yeah, looking forward to this one. Dynasty AC Dallas is tough to call. Two contrasting styles out here. Two teams that are hungry to win a big tournament. AC Dallas never won a tournament. It's been since Vegas 2017 where San Diego Dynasty was able to put a win on the board. But San Diego Dynasty has had lots of contributions from lots of their players. But the story for them is Arturo Andrade, 42 confirmed kills. Now, for 2 years, I've been hearing about how good this Arturo Andrade guy is. But we hadn't seen that elite level skill out here on center court. Now, he definitely had some brief flashes of it, but they kept telling me how he was blocking in practice and what his top level was. And we were absolutely seeing elite level performance out of him as the one on the Snake side. Ryan Greenspan, Marcelo Margot, Tyler Harmon, Alex Rodriguez, Josh Rao's been in there a bunch too. Frazier's been getting some spins. Dynasty, again, since 2017, Vegas have not won an event, but they have played phenomenal paintball this year. Until you guys beat them on Friday morning, Todd, they'd only been beaten by 2 teams, the Russians 3 times and AC Dallas once, all year long, and their point plus-minus spread is just ridiculous. But though it's been 2017, AC Dallas has never won an event. Let's talk about X Factor and Houston Heat, though, Todd. X Factor could definitely win 2 tournaments in a row. They look probably the most refined and the best as far as really if they've had no problems. They murdered everybody during the prelims, and then they really had no problems with Edmonton Impact. So, I mean, when you go into the quarterfinals and you have no problems with Edmonton Impact, that's pretty ridiculous. And also Houston Heat, and also I just got handed a really amazing, I don't know if this is for me or if this is Rich or I'm supposed to keep this quiet, but Rich, somebody stole your gun, bro. I don't know where it is. So talk to me about this X Factor Houston Heat matchup.
Okay, so X Factor, you're right. They have looked the most sharp all weekend long.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely still riding high from that victory in Philadelphia. But the way that they're running their squads is getting everybody involved. That's why you don't see their guys way up on the kill counts, right? Because, everybody on the roster is playing, everybody's performing, and it's allowing them to be versatile in their game plans. Mm-hmm. So you're seeing guys play both sides of the field. You're seeing the attack come from everywhere. But, bringing back LJ Woodley has been good, and he's been a solid performer for them. But Billy Bernacchi has really been setting the tone over here on the Snake side. He's in there constantly. He's doing work. Ryan Brand doing a great job. Colt Roberts, who just really balled last event, has really stepped up on that Dorito side and made a big difference once again. So everybody's performing. Houston Heat, though, we got to go against them, and they were so sharp. The normal, the usual suspects, Chad George, Sam Monville, Ryan Moorhead, and they're getting contributions from their other guys too, right? Nico Hydes had some good points. Devin Stewart's played some good points. Fedorov is, obviously one of the most, if not the most dominant players in the league. And, he's playing pretty well too. And honestly, I know Fedorov, and he can take it up another level. So I think in this game right here, you might see Konstantin Fedorov decide to go off.
Well, and also Houston Heat been spinning most of their guys throughout this entire tournament. Interested to see if they're going to go more towards the starting 5. X Factor also getting a lot of guys some spins out there, which means maybe those guys won't necessarily be in the same running for the Golden Barrel. Because if AC Dallas, if they make it out from Dynasty, it's probably going to be Matt Jackson. And if Dynasty makes it through and beats AC Dallas, it's probably going to be Arturo or Ryan Greenspan. With X Factor and Heat, I went down and looked to see how close they were. They're there, but I think Archie's 11 kills behind Arturo. So you can see there on your screen as Arturo. Pavel Karslev, he set the high water mark right now, 49 confirmed kills for him. But they're eliminated. Same with the third place guy there, Alexander Burtnikov, but Matt Jackson's still in this. So if Matt Jackson and the rest of the boys from AC Dallas can get into the finals, there's a really good chance that he's going to be taking home this golden barrel. Of course, winning the tournament is much more important, but it is part of the conversation. And then Ryan Greenspan also in there with Arturo. So, but X Factor Heat, Heat looked unstoppable until they got about midway through their DMG game. I talked to him a little bit about that. It's like we were just trying some stuff, trying to get some different looks, and yeah, they run up a couple points on us. They're a good team, so they're no slouches. But and then Houston Heat had a slugfest, a tactical slugfest against Revo that they prevailed in overtime, and that was a good tune-up for them. So anytime we talk about this a lot, but anytime you don't face much adversity like X Factor and everything's working, if all of a sudden something is not working now and you're grinding your gears, you haven't had that to deal with and you haven't had to fix that problem yet, whereas Houston Heat has definitely had a little bit more adversity than X Factor.
Yeah. So check out these fan predictions. X Factor, 71% favorite over Houston Heat. Got a lot of X Factor fans out there right now. Everybody believing in the way X Factor's playing. And Dynasty with a 60% favorite over AC Dallas at 40%. Go to myfanwagon.com. Play fantasy paintball with us. Have more fun when you're watching the tournaments here on Go Sports.
Yeah, and hopefully you got your picks in for the Sunday Club. We're doing that at every event. We're doing it World Cup, and that is brought to you by MacDev. You can win a MacDev Prime. So looks like these teams now taking the field. AC Dallas and Dynasty. This game is brought to you by Bunker Kings. The first 100 customers are going to be getting a 35% off discount your next purchase over $50. You want to use the promo code WKS35, which stands for We Kill Suckers. WKS35, go to bunkerkings.com or bunkerkings.eu if you are in Europe to get that 35% off. So we're just a few moments away from the start of this first point, and looks like Dynasty is going to be, I think it's going to be Blake out there. Actually, they got a bunch of guys out there, so I don't really know who their starting five is going to be. Looks like A-Rod's coming off, so I don't know if it's going to be A-Rod. For sure, Arturo and Greenspan are going to probably play every single point over here on this snake side. Marcelo's been having a really good event, too. He did get a couple penalties. I asked him, I was like, were those legit? He's like, the one in the center, yeah, also maybe couldn't have been, but then he's like, I had no idea that I was hit on that other one. So, but he's fresh off that knee injury, looking at 100%, but he's been kind of that safety valve. Todd, we talked about how this D side's been real important, and having a smart player like Marcelo got to contend with the aggressive Brad McCurley. So it's going to be a Brad McCurley-Marcelo matchup on that D side. On the snake side, it's going to be BJ Henningberg versus Arturo. And then looks like actually they're going to send Tyler Harmon on a delay into the snake, but looks like John Jackson takes the walk for AC Dallas. So the first kill, two bodies are walking off for AC Dallas. Not a good start for AC.
Yeah, and Dynasty went 4 bodies towards the snake side. They were able to shoot John Jackson out of that Dorito side can.
Actually, I think, was it a third body that came off? Or sorry, the second body? Because right now, I didn't see that other body come off. I mean, they definitely have the BJ Henningberg's alive. They also have a body in the tower, and then Matt Jackson for sure is John. Yeah, John's at the can, so it should be 4 bodies alive. Well, yeah. BJ comes off.
Somebody's in that can. Ryan Hall's still alive. BJ comes walking off right now. And Tyler Harmon sitting here in the 50. And I believe that's Brad McCurley in the middle right now. So Brad McCurley, I think Ryan Hall maybe still over there, but Tyler Harmon's going to come and try and get a shot in, looking on the inside. Now he's going to come back to the outside. Ryan Greenspan's backing up Tyler Harmon with Yosh Rao and Marcelo in the 2 cans. And Ryan Hall is able to sneak out into that Dorito side corner. So it was John Jackson that walked out. They doubled that Dorito side can on the break. And Ryan Hall now sneaks out to the Dorito side. Nobody on the Dorito side for Dynasty, but Ryan Greenspan's going to catch a ball. Not exactly sure who got him there. Yeah, probably had to be Matt Jackson.
Yeah, where did that one come from? But that's a big kill here for AC Dallas. Trying to make Dynasty
unless
pump
it's
the
Brad
brakes.
McCurley. Sorry, Matty. Unless it's Brad McCurley in the middle, because he snuck up into that center 50 structure, and he might have caught Ryan Greenspan slipping. And yeah, Brad McCurley is in that 50. on the Dorito side, on Dynasty side of the field. And oh, he just bounced Marcelo as well.
Well, now he's coming back to try to get a look here at Tyler Harmon and see if he can get an angle on him. But yeah, Brad McCurley is now looking towards the snake side, and Tyler probably doesn't know where he is because he just made it back here. So if Tyler moves forward even a little bit or even gets his barrel on the other side of that, Brad may be able to shoot it. Now Hall is going to filter into D1 as Tyler Harmon is going to come off, and he's probably going to be able to catch Brad, and they're going to trade out. That's a pretty good move for Brad there, as it looks like it's now a 2-on-2. Bodies dropping back and forth here. Looks like just heard somebody yell 2-on-2, so they know the count. It's really hard to keep the count on this field, Todd.
Yeah, and that was Matt Jackson over here in the tall cake on the snake side, yelling to his teammate Ryan Hall. Yosh and Marcelo in the cans. Ryan Hall and Matt Jackson spread out wider. Marcelo's going to reach in and squeegee his gun. And just, it's like Yosh already dumped his whole pack. So Marcelo, I looked like he was going to throw Yosh a pod right there for a second. But he's going to load up. First point of the match. So teams can play this smart and slow.
Yeah, Matt Jackson still rolling his gun. He's got some paint. Marcelo's got a decent amount of paint. You can see it flopping around on his back as he gets a pretty big bite all the way into D1. There's Marcelo. He's going to go into D3. He's only looking at 2 bodies. No one putting any pressure on him, so he's just going to move up all the way pretty much to the 50-yard line here on the D side.
Matt Jackson picks up where Marcelo went. Going to call it out to Ryan Hall. Yosh Rao fills out to Matt Jackson's mirror. And Ryan Hall, he's going to move up a Dorito. Go head-to-head with Marcelo.
So it's Marcelo Margot and Ryan Hall matched up on the D side. Now Yosh Rao is going to get a big move all the way to the 50-yard line. Here comes Ryan Hall, and he's going to match up with Marcelo. So he ends up taken out by Marcelo, and now Yosh is going to come through and get a shot in on Jackson's pack. What a beautiful move. Great shot by Marcelo, and a great move by Yosh Rao to win this 2-on-2 and give Dynasty the momentum in this semifinal matchup versus AC Dallas.
Yep, playing with that lead is always big, especially when it's rainy and muddy out here. Being able to go up right away, and now when you have those low body situations and slow points, then the urgency now goes to AC Dallas' side of the field.
What a clutch performance from Rao and Margot, both playing the aggressor on their side of the field, whereas AC Dallas a little bit more hunkered down in their spots. And even though Hall did try to make an attempted move on Marcelo, but Marcelo caught him. Now Houston Heat coming out to play their first point against San Antonio X Factor. Heat yet to win a game yet to win a tournament. They've won lots of games. Yet to win a tournament here in 2019, but they are our world champs. X Factor, fresh off their victory in Philadelphia. And what a crazy story bringing LJ Woodley back, because Sloviak's family's having a baby. So, and Woodley's getting a start here. He's been doing real well for him. On the breakout, looks like X Factor is going to be losing their first body. And it is Archie Montemayor, so that's a big kill here for Houston Heat, Todd.
Yeah, and they do have, I think that's Ryan Smith. Yeah, Ryan Smith went straight to the center 50. Billy Bernacci's going to jump out to the second wall. Ryan Moorhead's going to jump up, and it looks like Billy Bernacci is going to take a shot out of that, and Ryan Smith's going to give him a couple extra to make him think about going there again. Ryan Moorhead is wrapping, and looks like X Factor's going to go ahead and concede that point as Houston Heat comes out hard and fast on that first point.
That was a nasty point for Houston Heat. Got a chance to talk to all the guys from Houston Heat. Seemed real confident, and talking a little bit about their matchups and their strategy and what they were thinking about things. And they feel really confident about this one, Todd. They like the layout. They feel confident that if they can knock out X Factor, the team that won the last event, that they're going to move on and win this tournament.
Yeah, I got an update on Brandon Cornell as well. He dislocated his shoulder, but his wrist is not broken. So, but I think it's his other shoulder, not the one he has already dislocated. So, prayers up for Brandon Cornell from Edmonton Impact.
Prayers again to Brandon.
Suffers another injury.
In this second point, Dynasty with the lead. Tyler Harmon again is going to be the one here. The first attacker on the snake side, matching up with BJ. BJ barely beats him to the second wall over here, and But they both get there clean. It's actually a clean break for both squads across the field, 5-on-5.
Ryan Hall's going to go up the middle this time, is where we saw him play a lot of the tournament, the majority of the tournament. So he's going to get up in there. Dynasty with their 4-player snake side attack. Although they do have the snake side can shooting across to that Dorito side. AC Dallas did make it out on the Dorito side. They got Brad McCurley in the corner. Henningberg over here in the second wall. Tyler Harmon in his mirror. 10 minutes on the clock.
And there's the lineup for San Diego Dynasty. Trying to protect this lead. They did risk Tyler, and Tyler's clean, but going snake side, strong side. Really just ignoring the D side right now, San Diego Dynasty, whereas Matt Jackson is moving up on that side, and he's going to take the big bite. And they also have Ryan Hall in the center, so much better crossfield spread here for AC Dallas. As the attack with John Jackson and Brad McCurley with Ryan Hall in the center. Todd, AC has put themselves in some real good positions here.
Yeah, this is what you got to do. You got to get up into the spots and be aggressive. You can't let Dynasty pick and choose their spots like Tampa Bay Damage did when they got picked apart. They tried to hold it, and Dynasty's able to just, make moves slowly, communicate, and make the right move. So AC Dallas, I think this is the way that you have to play, is get in the spots and be aggressive. We didn't see Dynasty attack the middle on this point, so they're 2 points now. AC Dallas has had the middle. They got a couple bodies out of it last time. Let's see what they try and do here.
8:45 to go. Some time ticking off the clock. It is still 5-on-5, but no, Arturo Andrade gets shot out of that tower, and Ryan Greenspan's going to try to get out a little bit wider here, snake side, so the advantage on the field position and on the body count goes to AC Dallas. We'll see if Dynasty can try to win a gunfight and Marcelo also losing a gunfight. So this is going to be a really, but Brad coming off. Todd, bodies dropping all over the place, still the advantage to AC.
Yeah, quick explosion here, a couple bodies coming. Matt Jackson quickly moves up into the 50 snake. Ryan Greenspan moves into the wall. Alex Rodriguez also walking off the field right now.
Yeah, it's gunfight city right now, but advantage with 2 big bodies more for AC Dallas. Looking like they should be easy. They should be able to tie this one up. Both Greenspan and Tyler Harmon are in a tough spot to win a 2-on-4 as the bodies are right in front of him. And Tyler's going to come through and try to trade out with both BJ and Matt, but he only gets Matt, and that's going to put Ryan Greenspan in a 1-on-3. And though he did get a 3-pack and a 2-on-4, it's not going to happen this time. We're going to see a tie game. I don't really necessarily agree, Todd, with the game plan that Dynasty went with on that one. They literally didn't send one body towards the D side of the field. The farthest guy over was at the can. They went snake side, strong side, and then didn't push. They just got Tyler to a spot, didn't really filter anyone else out until AC had all of the front spots essentially across the field and all that field spread, and then they couldn't hide in that center. I don't agree with that one.
They've been doing this a lot, right? And it's been successful for them. But the reason, not the reason, it was successful when they did it and it was successful, they also had Tyler Harmon jump into the 50. That one, Tyler came into the second wall and kind of played across. I'm not saying that he went into the 50 and went and shot a bunch of people, but he got into the 50, and when you're in that 50, you have to deal with it. You have to respect that corner, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No one's scared of the second wall over here. Like,
Yeah.
no one gets in the second wall. They're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, he's in the second wall. This has to be dealt with.
Yeah.
He's just in that. Everyone's in that
Exactly.
position.
So Dynasty's gone for this way, leaving either just Marcelo or just A-Rod to shoot towards that Dorito side and lock it down. But that was also by putting the pressure on the 50 and putting guys in position to protect them.
And if you're going to stay in those back spots and try to protect those big lanes, you have to make your shots. And that just did not happen for San Diego Dynasty in that last point. So it's a tie ball game. Right now, X Factor going to have to try to get one back here against Houston. They're down by 1. Ray Stanczyk's going to run to the center as they lose. Billy Bernaccia, and there goes Ryan Moorhead into the 50-yard line, and the running referee is going to come in and not have to get all the way to Woodley before Woodley calls himself out. And then Moorhead, though, gets diced up with the big move. Rainey in the center.
Yeah, don't sleep on Rainey to have a huge game here, too, against Houston Heat, because they're going to need it. But like I said, Konstantin Fedorov, watch out for him, because he could explode at any moment. Seen him make some big moves here in Chicago for Houston Heat. But Rainey, he gets Moorhead off the field and lives in that spot. So He's got Meter Ninos behind him. Woodley walked off, and Billy walked off. But Archie's still out there in that Dorito side, looking at Fedorov, Chad George, and Mishka is out in Archie's mirror on that Dorito side temple. Now there you see Archie Montemayor on your screen.
Yeah, and Archie, the Top Gun Award winner from the last event, looking like he might want to move across. He's getting a little bit more out on that side of the field, right-handed. And we're going to look at Houston Heat trying to preserve the lead. Yep, sure enough, Archie did make his move to D1.
And I believe that's Ryan Smith in the can next to Mishka. As Fedorov gets a check, he's clean.
The referee looks like he was giving Chad George a little glance over. He is clean, but Rainey is still alive past the 50-yard line here in the center of the field in this semifinal matchup. With X Factor down by 1, Meter Ninos behind him, and that's about it over on the Snake side of the field for X Factor. Archie looking up and on his feet from D1, like he may want to make a move.
Maybe Meter.
It's that big gap though, and sure enough, there he goes. And Konstantin Fedorov tries to make the crossfield shot on Archie Montemayor, but not able to do it. And so he's going to tactically retreat to the backhand. Archie in a great spot. So see, and then he goes up to the crucial spot, the D3 spot. Rainey's still alive. All the back spots for Heat now.
Yeah, it looks like Fedorov might be having a little gun trouble. That's why he's not shooting, and he backed up to that can. So it looks like he might have a ball stuck in his loader or something. So he's back there right now trying to stay alive and get it sorted out. Rainey still in that spot over here in the 50. Mishka's trying to bounce paint in there, shooting through that crease. And, I mean, Rainey's there. He's going to try and wrap now and shoot a ball up over the top at Mishka. They know where he is, but he's definitely in a good spot. And he might have just wrapped and shot Ryan Smith. Nope.
No, he did not. The referee's going to come check him out, though. Oh, he's going to give him a big glance, and Heat is, I was going to say playing on their heels in this low body situation, but or high body situation, but here comes an aggressive push going into D2 quickly because there's only 3 bodies left alive. Ninos is definitely flooding his paint towards that D side of the field, but could not stop that move. So Archie's going to have to deal with this player in front of him. Is that Smith? Oh, and Konstantin Fedorov just got the drop on Rainey Stanzik. That's a huge kill.
With no loader on his gun. Oh. He came out and shot him with 1 ball.
Oh, my God.
Konstantin Fedorov.
Oh, the legend, Konstantin Fedorov, one of the big heroes for Heat. Played multiple injuries through World Cup.
Muzzle loading paintballs.
Yeah. Just
you can see him right there. And it looks like Archie's going to take one.
He's got a straight slingshot over here.
And these days, if your loader's broke, you are allowed to leave it in your bunker. You don't have to take it with you anymore.
Which I think is a good move. I always kind of, it was funny to watch guys run around with their loaders in their jerseys, but who cares? It's your loader, man. Like, it really hurts you to not have your loader.
Right.
So let's check in with Lauren Kelly.
Thanks. All the Dynasty players were huddled around Coach Rusty Glaze in the pits trying to figure out their next strategy for the next point. Tyler Harmon was arguing that they had to have a strong presence in the middle, saying that they have to push the issue. They can't sit back in their bunkers and have long points. They want to be aggressive and take the offensive hand early on.
Well, it's, Todd, such an interesting layout. We've had different looks on this field, with the D side now becoming more of a factor. The Snake side's been the strong side. All the craziness in the center. The different tactics. Is it fast? Is it slow? Can you execute if you're going to go with that? Like, so defense was what Dynasty tried to do on that last one to preserve the lead, and it didn't work out. And AC Dallas was able to move up the field. And everyone says that's not their specialty, but now they're tied up because of some offense from some of their players. And some gunfight wins. 7 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in this close match. Now they lose Arturo Andrade again, who's been the big heavy killer for Dynasty on the Snake side. BJ Henningberg, oh, and a body coming off right now for AC Dallas, Todd.
Yeah, that's Brad McCurley over there on that Dorito side, as Ryan Hall up in the middle here is now looking towards that Dorito side. Before, there wasn't a whole lot of pressure there, so now he's going to come up into the middle and play the cut to try and make sure Dynasty doesn't come down that side. Matt Jackson's going to make his fill back behind BJ. BJ mirrored up with Arturo. Matt Jackson mirrored up with Ryan Greenspan. Marcelo and Yosh in those back cans again. Both shooting towards the Dorito side right now.
6:25 now to go.
There's Blake Yarber on your screen, sitting in Dorito 1 for Dynasty. Shooting at BJ.
6:30. This is going to be interesting, man. As 4-on-4, tied up, both teams in some good spots. Who's going to be the first to drop? That's the big question right now. Who's going to lose a gunfight? Who's going to win a gunfight? Winner of this match will be heading into the finals. And it would be huge for either AC Dallas or San Diego Dynasty to win a tournament. Vegas of 17 was the last time the Dynasty won a big one of these. But this is the most legendary franchise of all time. Oh, they're going to lose Marcelo Margades. He's going to come off. So there is the key kill for AC Dallas to see if they can take advantage of it. Or is Arturo going to come and try to even this one up? He cannot see Hall's back. And now looks like Yosh Rao is going to get checked out by the referee. Actually, we might be seeing a penalty call. We're going to see a minor or a major on Arturo. It's going to be a minor. That's going to pull off Greenspan. And Blake Yarber is the last hope for Dynasty in this point. And he does get one. Does he get two? BJ Henningberg trying to find this last body. And AC Dallas does not know where Blake Yarber is. I think they do now.
Yeah, John Jackson's filled out to the corner. Henningberg is over here alive. And Ryan Greenspan, did he walk off? Yeah, they can. Did he get pulled? Or did Yosh get shot? I wasn't sure who got pulled, Ryan or Yosh.
Yosh got shot. I think Greenspan got pulled. Because Yosh went into the center and then came off. So 2 unanswered points right now for AC Dallas.
30 seconds.
And Ryan Smith going to spin it again for Houston Heat. As they have a 2-0 lead
20 seconds.
over San Antonio X Factor.
There is the lineup right there. Woodley, Stanzik, Colt Roberts, Archie Montemayor, and fifth body's Billy Bernaccia. Here we go. Crucial point for X Factor, though. They've been completely dominant, but not through these 2 first points. And this is all, what have you done for me lately? Who cares how you got here? It's what you do once you're in this semifinal match and every single game on Sunday. Chad George, though, is a big kill for X Factor, is one of the best players on Houston Heat now walking off. But Ryan Moorhead's going to dive in there. Woodley in good position in the center for X Factor. Billy Bernaccia, he's at the first wall, and then here comes the big move and just smokes Ryan Moorhead. Great job by Woodley there, Todd.
Yeah, and I mean, fool me once, shame on. Fool me twice. We better not fool me. Better not fool me again. Right?
You're right. That move's been happening constantly.
Yeah. Well, it's happened twice to Moorhead in this match.
Yeah. So that's
the one you got to protect yourself.
It's just tough because how do you protect yourself? You have to look that way or have somebody there shooting that inside route.
Yeah.
Whatever. Billy Bernaccia is now in a really good position to put one up on the board. Smith is going to take the walk, and here comes Konstantin Fedorov with the loader on his gun. I mean, you got to kill without a loader in the last one. See what you can do with an actual fully working setup.
He's all right.
Billy Bernaccia on the jump shot here as move being made past the 50-yard line. Archie Montemayor starting to blow open that D side of the field. That D side of the field has really become an incredibly important part of this specific layout. And some people are still ignoring it, but lots of points are being stolen over there as the action and the guns shift towards the middle and to the Snake side. So let's get a look here at this replay. Here comes Chad George. He's going to try to take some ground, runs the right route, but they're just doing a really good job of control over there. And here comes Ryan Moorhead as he gets it back, just blown to bits.
Yeah, and it was tough because, there's a guy in front of him, so he can't fully hide on the side of that, but you got to kind of be ready for knowing Woodley or Rainey. If you see you in that 50, that's the move that they've been making all weekend. So you got to, keep an eye out for that one.
And it was Archie that got the kill on Fedorov to end it.
20 seconds.
So signs of life here for X Factor. Now, similar situation for Dynasty here as they have 1 point on the board in a 1-point match. 5:02 to go. On the split screen breakout, AC Dallas on the blue side, and they're gonna send BJ to the snake off the break. He's asking for a check though, and Dynasty's able to get a good shot on him. Ryan Hall is gonna stop out in the open to try to shoot that D side lane, and we're gonna see a minor penalty assessed on San Diego Dynasty. As who is that gonna pull? It's Blake Yarber coming off. Blake gets the penalty that pulls out A-Rod, but Margot and Greenspan are still alive. They try to take out Margot in the 50. Ryan Hall not able to do it. Dynasty still might have a chance. No, Brad McCurley is going to shoot Marcelo. And now Ryan Greenspan is going to be, again, the last player left alive. But Arturo's still alive.
Arturo.
Oh, Arturo's still alive. Oh, but no, sorry, not anymore. Brad McCurley was able to get that crossfield shot. So, again, a penalty haunting, penalties have haunted Dynasty a little bit today. This time it's on Blake Yarber. And that is going, they need to concede the point to preserve the time. AC Dallas. How crazy would it be if AC Dallas, without one of their best players, TJ Danner, finally win one?
I think TJ would take it anyway.
Yeah, I think he would. He's here. He's here and helping out.
Yeah.
Let's getting the assist as helping out Paulie with coaching.
30 seconds.
Well, that's going to give AC Dallas a 3-1 lead. Here comes Houston Heat walking on right now. This is big dog paintball out here. These are the top 4 teams here at this event.
10 seconds.
Lots of familiar faces. AC Dallas made finals out in Dallas, lost to the Russians. Houston Heat, the current world champions, winning World Cup and the world title last year.
Heavy guns up, breakout for X Factor, as then they're going to risk Woodley on a delay, and he's going to come through. They're going to, who's going to get who is the question. I think they both might be coming out. Referees running in to sort it out. Look for a penalty. Monville's sitting there begging for it. Woodley stayed in. Fedorov with a little tactical retreat. Moorhead able to take some ground on the snake side. It looks like Woodley lived through that, so Woodley able to stay alive.
Woodley has this magical ability to live through situations like that. But no, as he tries to come back, he gets shot.
Oh my God.
He could have probably stayed there because there was nobody on that side of the field for Heat.
A penalty on Archie Montemayor, who pulls out Colt Roberts, and it's just been a penalty-ridden semifinal match right now. These teams need to clean it up a little bit out here. It's getting wild as X Factor.
2 bodies left alive for X Factor.
First 4.
Rainey and Billy.
You know, Ryan Brand is the fastest in the league on the horn, but he's going to let this one go for a little bit. Still 8 minutes and 5 seconds left to see if they can pull off this 2-on-4. Rainey Stanzik and Billy Bernaccia.
And there goes Billy.
He's crawling. They're crawling on the highway again. Moorhead was pulling Ryan Green's boat. That's apparently you have to be called Ryan. Your name has to be Ryan in order for you to
Crawl the highway.
Crawl the highway. So let's check in with Lauren Kelly.
Thanks. Dynasty is getting angry, but keeping their composure in the puts. Marcelo Margot said he really likes the idea of making a comeback right now and breaking AC Dallas's backs. Yosh Rouse said the most important thing is for them to remember bounce shots also. They seem to be forgetting some of those on the field. So we'll see if they can stop getting penalties, tighten this up, and get a point.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need to do. Tighten it up, stop getting penalties. I still do not like, they took that 1-point lead and then just completely ignored the D side. And the farthest guy over on that side of the field was at the can, and then didn't make any of their shots and let AC Dallas take all the ground. Then AC Dallas got the momentum. This game's not over yet. Only a 2-point spread, 4 minutes left to go.
Tyler Harmon coming across the field, diving into the snake. Looks like AC Dallas loses their first body. It's Brad McCurley off that Dorito side, but Arturo Andrade with another early death. Walking off the field, so it is a 4-on-4 with Matt Jackson up in the middle of the field. BJ going out wide this time on the snake side to that tall cake. He's going to let him play some paintball on his feet this time.
Here comes that move in that center, Todd.
Yeah, Matt Jackson quickly makes that move. And Dynasty down to 3 bodies as Ryan Greenspan, Yosh Rao trying to find, and Ryan Greenspan runs right into Matt Jackson's gun. He had no idea Matt was there, but looks like they traded, so Matt's going to come walking off.
Move being made on the D side, though, when that happened, there's the bodies for AC Dallas trying to preserve this lead. 3:15 left to go. Yeah, time of the essence here. So if Dynasty doesn't look like their bodies are moving forward, Rusty is going to be forced to concede that 4th point, which It's going to be up to Marcelo. Can Marcelo or Yosh Rao make something happen here in a 2-on-3 situation with 3 minutes left to go, down by 2? Not an ideal spot, man. This is going to be a real big ask for both Rao and Margot.
Well, you said it all weekend. The two teams that Dynasty had lost to this year were the Russians and AC Dallas. AC Dallas went up big on them in Dallas, and then Dynasty had to make a comeback, got pretty close, but were unable to surmount the necessary points, surmount the comeback. And they're in a similar situation right now, 2.5 on the clock. They're down 2. Their two bodies, Rao and Marcelo, are attacking.
But either Marcelo or Yosh just picked off one of those bodies, so now it's a 2-on-2, and Marcelo, he cut to that inside, on that inside route, and there's Yosh Rao on your screen, so it's 33, Margot, and 32, and here comes Marcelo. He's going to come through. He's going to get the shot on Hall. He gets shot in the pack, and it's come down to a 1-on-1. 1-on-1 between John Jackson and Yosh Rao. So, I mean, Marcelo did his job. Oh, but it looks like John Jackson picks off Yosh Rao. Or did they? No, the towel is thrown in. So John Jackson, who has just become so confident in his gunfights and such a safety valve. Not only is he a safety valve, but he's got great timing too. He's dropped the hammer in that middle when he needs to. But just that might do it here for AC Dallas. And they might be moving on to the finals with that big 1-on-1 victory of John Jackson over Yosh Rao.
Maybe TJ Danner was the assistant coach they didn't know they needed. Maybe he and Paulie are just down there masterminding this. Just kidding. AC Dallas has been playing solid all weekend. Really solid paintball all weekend. And, it shows out here right now, once again, as they have a 3-point lead over Dynasty.
Well, it is interesting on this layout. You need a mix of aggression. You need a mix of defense because we've seen that both can work. It's just do you execute? And that's what AC Dallas does have. I know they get knocked for being conservative, but they do have offensive capabilities. And maybe this is their event, but they're going to have to get through one of these two teams. Of course, with 7 minutes and 42 seconds left, Heat with an advantage up 2 points. But we're talking about San Antonio X-Factor, the team that just won Philadelphia. This could get interesting here as time starts ticking off this clock.
Yeah, Ryan Moorhead here in the second wall looking across the field. Fedorov fills out to the Dorito side corner, but getting shot in the pack is Sam Monville. He's going to come walking off. Colt Roberts up in the center at the tall tower on the Dorito side. All 5 bodies alive for X-Factor. There goes Mishka, another body walking off. Still plenty of time left in this game. As Ryan Moorhead searching for kills. Fedorov gets shot out of the corner, and X-Factor with all the bodies putting the pressure on right now. Just got to close this one out as Ryan Moorhead is now searching for dear life as Billy Bernacci comes through and puts one on him as X-Factor with a really solid point here.
That's what they needed,
I
Todd.
think they might even finish 5 live bodies.
Perfect point for them. Going to pull within 1. X-Factor's an incredibly confident team right now. I saw Colt yesterday in the lobby and in the elevator, and he just had this Colt Roberts smile on his face. He's like, I'm happy we got Impact. I can't wait to play those guys in the morning. I'm glad that's the way it shook out. We're going to win this tournament. And then I saw Rainey. He was also in the elevator too this morning. He had his headphones on, incredibly focused, and said the same thing. I'm glad we got Impact. So they're a confident team, and you can see the swagger that they have in that last point, but they still need one more. He also talked to them before this match right now, and they seem super confident. It's not looking good for Dynasty, though, Todd. It's looking like AC Dallas most likely going to be moving into the finals as Dynasty is down by 3 with not a lot of time left. They have had some crazy, miraculous comebacks. I've been on the receiving end of a few of those over the years.
Well, we shall see here. Anything can happen. You never know, but AC Dallas, they are able to play offense and defense, just like you said, Maddie. And they understand the gravity of this situation here. Opportunity to go back to the finals for a second time this year. So Marcelo Margot going to come up the middle, attack that Dorito side. Ryan Hall gets shot in the pack. First body to come walking off.
Also just got some confirmation that Matt Jackson is the new kill count leader. So if they do seal this win up and move on, he will be the favorite to win the top gun because both Heat and X-Factor have been spinning lots of their different guys.
Yeah, Arturo just got shot in the goggles. So after having a solid tournament, Arturo has been the first body to go down pretty much every single point here for Dynasty. As they are now trying to come through the Dorito side. Blake Yarber goes into Dorito 2. BJ Henningberg gets shot. He comes walking off. Matt Jackson's feeling the pressure in this snake side tower. Here goes Brad McCurley. Up to Dorito 2. Ryan Greenspan comes into the 50 snake. Puts Paint at John across the field, who dives into the Dorito side temple. Matt Jackson's still alive. Here comes the move through the middle. Looks like Marcelo Margot jumped onto AC Dallas territory.
Here comes Matt Jackson. He comes across, and he's going to try to get the drop on Ryan Greenspan, and he does. There goes Harmon. He's going to take the walk, and I think AC Dallas has already sealed this win up. They're up by 3. There's only a minute left, so the point spread means nothing. I mean, this game's over. You can't score 4 points in 40 seconds. It's impossible.
Yeah, so it looks like Dynasty's just going to go ahead and let the time run off because, 5-1 is...
Yeah, that's it. It's impossible.
Impossible.
I mean, we said it a couple times here or there. We're giving Rich a hard time for him calling that game before the Russians ran through to get that 9-second point. But Dynasty just accepting the inevitable here. And it was another hard-fought, awesome performance overall from San Diego Dynasty. They made a good run. They got stuck in the wild card round again. They beat the Ironmen in a 4-2 match. And then they come in, they take down Damage. And Damage is a tough situation for them because they had to go into their guns twice, but they did it. And then coming in, they just did not have enough for AC Dallas.
And you see this right here? This is what I talk about. When there's a minute left and you're up a bunch of points and the other team doesn't blow the horn, the classy thing to do is to not hit the buzzer to put the extra point up and just let the time run out. If they let the time run out, you let the time run out.
Especially on Sunday.
If you have respect for the other team.
When point spread means nothing on Sunday, yeah, I can see why you're doing it if you're doing it in the prelims.
Yeah.
Depending on the situation.
That's the respectful thing to do, to not just have to make it look like it was worse than it was.
Yeah, now a little bit of an upset here, at least on the fan predictions, but not an upset on the overall standings, because AC Dallas, even though Dynasty more of a fan favorite, AC Dallas came into this event ranked 4th and Dynasty 5th. So AC Dallas on paper, just on paper, should have been beating Dynasty, and they did. AC Dallas making their 4th appearance in the finals ever. Maybe they can seal the deal. Is it going to be Heat that faces them or X Factor? We will see. Also, we're going to be having all the divisional final matchups coming at you here after a short break after the conclusion of this match, and we will have 2 minutes in between points. You can see X Factor doubling up that can there, shading towards the D side, and trying to get one more point to tie, and taking very little ground off the break on the Snake side, but they do eventually now get Billy Bernaccia into the mini wall. Much more ground was taken earlier by Heat, even with the lead, and they're going to get that crossfield shot on LJ Woodley. So interesting that X Factor went more of a conservative breakout for them, even though they're the ones that need the point. And that the ground that Fedorov took enabled that kill on Woodley, because Woodley had no idea they got there and just ran right into that lane.
Still 6 minutes on the clock here. 1 point game. Heat positioning themselves in the middle of the field. Billy Bernaccia can see up the pipe though. But Mishka able to sneak in on that Dorito side to get up into the middle of the field. Archie, Billy, over here on the Snake side as Archie steps up next to Billy. Moorhead, he's in that center temple on the Snake side, trying to watch that gap from that temple. You can see the gap between the end of the Snake beam and the 50 Snake, just to know, to have an opportunity to shoot the Snake guy, but also to know if he climbs into that 50 or not. Archie Montemayor coming up, mirroring up with Ryan Moorhead, Fedorov in the second wall.
Yeah, they're just crossed up right now. Fedorov is looking in front of Moorhead. Moorhead in front of Fedorov. Fedorov trying to stop any more push up into that center, and they have 5 bodies alive.
Yeah,
4 X Factor, and they need the point. This is going to be interesting. They have to push forward, and they're starting to set themselves up to move up the field.
Chad George is sitting in this back Snake corner, watching down the wire as Fedorov hides from the bounce shot. Mishka's up in the center. Sam Monville in the Snake side can.
Running referee coming to check out Sam Monville just to give him a glance, it looks like, as he is clean. For 17 now to go, as Jesse Stevens looks like he's going to try to maybe bully his way in with Colt Roberts past that big gap between D1 and D2, and now he's still trying to make that move. Billy Bernaccia, see if he's going to move up yet. They still have time to work with and only need 1, so This is why X Factor's just feeling it out, and they also are down the body, so nothing. They're not trying to get anything crazy. Oh, but Archie Montemayor gets shot out of his spot, and that's going to definitely hurt him, as they immediately are going to concede the point, even though it was a 3-on-5 situation. Ryan Brand, as soon as Archie died, he hit the buzzer.
Yeah, Jesse and Colt were over there on that Dorito side, but Mishka was in the middle, and he had that side of the field locked off, so they would have had to try and go through his gun or maybe even trade a body that they didn't have, so better off just to concede the point than wait for the inevitable. But looks like we got an interview down on the sidelines with Lauren Kelly.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm here with Brad McCurley. Congratulations. Here we are again with AC Dallas. After you guys won that against Dynasty, you had a little team huddle and you were giving a little speech. What were you saying to your teammates?
Yeah, I mean, it was just what we've talked about in the past, that all we have to do as a unit is have one good, solid day of AC paintball. We know that we can compete with anybody out here. Doesn't matter who's on the other side of the field. If we're playing our game, we're going to beat anybody. And every time we've gotten to the finals, so it's now been once a year since I've been on the team, and we don't put it all together in one day. So we'll have 2 or 3 good matches on Sunday, and then we kind of crumble in the finals. So going into this day, yesterday we talked about just putting together one good, solid day of AC paintball, and that's what we're trying to do. We've had 3 already games today of real solid paintball, exactly what we talked about going in. Won the breakout, won the first 15 seconds, and then won the rest of the point. So we're just definitely in control right now and feeling good.
You guys had to fight to get here. You had a bit of a harder time in prelims than we're used to AC Dallas playing. Sure. You had to play the wild card game. You won that to move on. But you've been in this situation so many times now and felt that heartbreak. Does that put any more pressure on you guys moving on into that finals match?
I don't think pressure is the right word. I think it's more anticipation for that win. Like, we all know that we're right on the cusp, and when we do get there, it's going to be contagious for us. So we're more excited than anything. Like, we're just ready to get over this hump and go hoist that trophy.
We're all ready to see you get over that hump. Congratulations. Back to you guys.
Big opportunity for AC Dallas. Put up their first win of that franchise ever, but that was an accurate breakdown from Brad. Every time you get to the big show, it gets a little bit easier. It's less pressure, even if you haven't won it yet. And look at this, though. His body coming off. It's Mishka and Moorhead coming off, as that's really going to help out X Factor. They still have 5 bodies alive. This is why Ryan Brand is so quick on the horn. Now all of a sudden it's a 5-on-3, and they still have 2 points to make up, but they didn't let Heat burn off much of that clock.
No, and this is what they wanted to do, try and get a fast point. Instead of letting a lot of time tick off on that last one, go out there, try and put one up quick so they can have an opportunity to be within 1 with a decent amount of time. Billy Bernaccia coming to the 50 snake. Woodley backs up. He's in the center 50. Archie is in the Dorito 3, and Rainey, of course, is locking down that Dorito side. There goes Sam Monville, trying to make a move down the Doritos, is Fedorov, and he gets picked off. So
it's like Billy needs to sprint in, man, to preserve that time.
Yeah, almost
Just
3 minutes on
case.
the clock.
We got ourselves a game still, Todd.
Yeah, so X Factor basically has 3 minutes just to get 1 point. That's all they need to try and tie this one up. So giving themselves an opportunity here. That's why Ryan Brand coaches the way he coaches. Come back with an aggressive game plan, win a quick one. That was about a minute-long point.
Well, when you know what your 5 can do, and you honestly, you of course know that it's a very low percentage play to win a 3-on-5 situation. And that's why anytime that he gets there, not anytime, but 95% of the time, he's going to hit that buzzer, get back to 5-on-5. So you see Matt Jackson has overtaken Pavel Karslev's 49. So Matt Jackson has a really good chance of taking home this golden barrel. Arturo Andrade knocked out. Alexander Burnikov knocked out. But Brad McCurley, 37 now. It's going to take a historic record-breaking game for Brad McCurley, and maybe an injury to Matt Jackson for Brad McCurley to have any chance to win this golden barrel with how many kills. Yeah. So also the record currently is 60 kills for Ryan Greenspan, and I think 9 is Matt Jackson could get 9 kills in this final match to equal Ryan Greenspan's 60. We will see. But with the way that X Factor and Heat, Todd, has been spreading out the playing time, I mean, I don't know if anyone can catch Matt Jackson.
Yeah, I don't think so either, because you know he's going to go off in the finals. So.
So I'm hearing Chad George, 33. Oh, yeah, no chance. I mean, might as well just give Matt the barrel right now, unless because Brad, I don't think can catch him. I mean, 17 kills, I think, is that the record in 1 point or 1 game? I believe so. It was Jerry Carl for sure.
I think it was 19.
Is it 19? And Bernaccia's got 38, 51, maybe, I don't know. But Matt Jackson is absolutely the gigantic favorite right now to be taking this Carbon Paintball Top Gun Award here in Chicago. But that's not the most important award we're giving out. The most important award we're giving out is first place for the entire tournament. And Matt Jackson has been fighting his entire paintball life to win a professional paintball tournament. It's never happened, so they're pretty excited they got an opportunity to play either X Factor or Houston Heat. Who's it going to be? Not sure, but Houston Heat does still have a lead. X Factor might have the momentum as they put up the last point. They're going to send out Woodley again with Montemayor. Billy Bernaccia just gets to play every single point on the snake side.
20 seconds.
As always, stick with us. We're going to have all the divisional finals coming up here before we get to the grand finale, the Nxl Chicago Open Pro Finals here this afternoon. So lots of excitement coming for the rest of your Sunday.
Bernaccia digging out, wide snake side, he makes it clean. Archie Montemayor is going to go out wide on the D side, and Houston Heat staying in the pocket and rolling their guns with all 5 bodies, and then on a secondary, Sam Monville. Exact same time, Woodley launches, and he makes it clean up into the 50 as well. There's Houston Heat's line, but it looks like Houston Heat, Todd, is going to be losing their first body, and I believe that is Mishka Kiesnev. He's walking off. Now just 4 players alive for Houston Heat. This is going to give X Factor a chance to tie this game up to 22 to go.
Yep, Woodley, he's going to lock off that Dorito side now there from the center. Rainey Stanzak over here on the snake side in the tower. Archie and Colt over there on the Dorito side. There goes Woodley. He tries to make a move. He takes out Sam Monville. Huge kill to put Heat on their heels a little bit here on the snake side. Fedorov's going to try to make a move up the Dorito side. Billy Bernaccia coming up on the snake side, getting into wall 1. Fedorov just trying to buy some time over there on the Doritos, putting paint back on Billy Bernaccia. Archie's going to back out of Dorito 2 to try and get a shot across the field on Chad George.
Now a minute and 33 left to go. And here comes the attack as Archie Montemayor is at the 50-yard line. Still 4 alive for X Factor versus 3 for Heat. And Archie's now past the 50, and he's going to be able to get a shot in on Moorhead's pack. And they're trying to come to deal with Archie, and I think he's going to go and trade out. Oh, did he get the shot in on him? No, he did not. That Houston Heat player has not walked out of there yet.
Yep, Fedorov and Chad George are still alive. And Chad George almost catches Randy sleeping, but here comes Billy Bernaccia.
And they're going to get it. They're going to have enough time. Colt Roberts, the safety valve over there on the D side with Rainey, who's also still alive. He stayed alive in that chaos in the center. Rainey should probably let Colt hit that buzzer. And he is. So Colt Roberts. And that is going to tie things up. Todd, we got the game we wanted to get here. 4-4 is the score as the point is good. Thumbs up in the air from the ref, signaling a clean point. Fedorov fought hard over there on the D side. And Chad George getting run down by Bernaccia over here, snake side.
Yeah, and that was a really actually big heads-up play by Billy Bernaccia. When Rainey came out into the wide open, he knew that Chad George was going to have to deal with him, so instantly came down the sideline.
So, again, if you're looking for a new paintball field, these air-up bunkers out here on center court here at the Nxl. You get a new white, blue Nxl logo field for $4,500, or get a used GI logo field, gray and red, for $4 grand. Got the number there on your screen. And also, you could hit up sales at airups.com. And this game is also brought to you by Bunker Kings. You can get 35% off using the promo code WKS35 at bunkerkings.com. You got to spend $50 to get that discount, though.
Pretty sure you can own this actual field if you want it.
I'm sure you
take
could.
home this actual pro field.
Not quite yet, but
Got to call up and be like, hey, I want the Chicago field.
Hey, everything's got a price. You can see there our graphic for our boys at Bunker King. You can see the We Kill Suckers pack. And a shout out to Max Lundquist and the boys at Bunker King, our Viking friends.
30 seconds.
The Vikings.
You think you got any Viking? Have you done the DNA test?
Nah. I'm scared. I don't want to be in the system, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. Might as
I
well
want to check my records.
It's probably too late, bro.
Yeah, right. I only get my Face ID'd 35,000 times a day from my
When you go to Mexico.
microcomputer. Yeah, right. They got
Oh,
me
yeah, your
crossing
micro, yeah,
borders.
the supercomputer you have in your pocket?
Yeah.
That we call phones?
Yeah, exactly.
45 seconds. Who's going to win it? 4-4 here in the semifinal matchup, and it looks like Woodley is going to go quickly into the 50. This is where he's played his best paintball this weekend, is attacking in the center. Oh, they're going to lose Colt Roberts. Randy Stanzik might be coming off too. They don't shoot anybody. This is Heat's opportunity. No, Heat's going to lose 2 real quickly on some secondary moves, and it's Konstantin Fedorov and Ryan Moorhead, the 2 heroes from the World Cup win. We'll see if Chad George and company 3-on-4 can get it done, or will we be heading to overtime? Probably overtime. Rainey, though, is going to probably spin the wheel here. And here comes Archie and Rainey attacking on the D side. See if the guns shift to him. They do, and here comes Bernaccia, and they're just not going to have enough time. There goes 1 kill. There goes 2, but not enough time. They needed about 5 more seconds, so maybe even 3. So we're going to be heading into an overtime.
Got to know the clock, man. You have to know the clock.
I mean, I feel like they knew the clock. They just didn't shoot the guys they needed to shoot in time because there was only 45 seconds left.
Well,
You think they could have clock managed that better?
I think Billy could have ran. I think Billy could have taken off.
Okay.
It's a gamble, right? I think if everybody's looking at Rainey coming down that Dorito side, if you just run, you hope those bodies don't look at you and die on your way to the buzzer, right? When you look up and you're at the 50-yard line and you see 7 seconds on the clock, you just run for the buzzer and hope everybody dies by the time you get there.
Absolutely. So it looks like we're going to have ourselves yet another overtime on this chaotic layout. So it's been an interesting one here. If you are just joining us, well, you've missed some pretty crazy and amazing paintball. As always, this is the Nxl. These are the best 20 professional paintball teams. Going on to Sunday, it's the 10 best professional paintball teams, and now we're here in the semifinals. Already waiting in the finals is AC Dallas, and a big congratulations to them for making it to their 4th final appearance. Can they take down the winner of X Factor or Houston Heat? I don't know. I mean, you do kind of have to give a nod to either Heat or X Factor, because Houston Heat has won a lot of tournaments, and over the years, X Factor's won a lot of tournaments, but they just won the last one. So I think on paper, whoever makes it out of this one, especially with the back and forth battle they just played, and the fact that AC Dallas doesn't have TJ Danner, but at the end of the day, does that really matter on paper? No, it doesn't. It's not about the names on the backs. It's about the production that happens on the field, and big games make names. That's why AC Dallas they've had some big games. Have they had a big one Sunday in the finals? No, not yet. But even without TJ Danner, with the way that Ryan Hall is playing that center, the way that Brad McCurley is doing his job and getting tons of kills and playing aggressive and smart on that D side, and Matt Jackson just slaughtering people, 51 confirmed kills and 9 kills away from tying Ryan Greenspan's overall record.
And looks like Mishka's going to get shot on the break going out to that Dorito side corner. Fedorov quickly fills in there. Monville going up the center on the break, leaving Chad George and Moorhead over here for Heat. X Factor doubling up the snake side can. Billy getting out to the snake side corner. Archie in that Dorito side corner mirrored up with Fedorov. And I think Fedorov getting shot, come walking off.
Yeah, it's a tough death here for Heat, as X Factor looking like they might be sealing up this victory. Houston Heat crawling with one of their last hopes out here, and Ryan Moorhead into the snake. But Todd, X Factor control, gunfights, shots off the break, and
Sam Monville still alive in there, though. In that center of the field, looks like Woodley's going to come up and try and get him, but Monville gets taken out by Colt Roberts. Moorhead's laying down here on the ground. This is not going to be fun for him.
and he's going to get bunkered out by Billy Bernaccia. So no penalty flags thrown, and a clean run through here for Bernaccia. He's going to slap 5. Some good sportsmanship there from Moorhead, as he was the last player left alive. So San Antonio X Factor, for the 2nd tournament in a row, is going to be heading into the finals, and this is going to do wonders for their overall ranking. Coming in, the Russians were first overall, but they got knocked out in the quarterfinals by AC Dallas. So X Factor sitting at second place, Houston Heat at third, AC making it into the finals now, and it's going to be interesting how a bunch of things shake up on the overall title hunt. And overall titles are nice, but tournament wins, that's what everybody wants out here. I mean, so Todd, let's talk about this matchup real quick. AC Dallas, San Antonio X Factor, two Texas teams, as Texas has really become the mecca of paintball, and it hurts my California soul to say it. But man, we just seen, not just here, but in the divisional finals, which are coming up, by the way, and it would not surprise me if a bunch of Texas teams are going to be playing on center court here.
Yeah, it's like when the Super Bowl's about to start, you're like, of course these two teams are in the Super Bowl. Like I should have known this from the start. AC Dallas and X Factor have both played excellent all weekend long, and if you got to watch all of their games, you really shouldn't be surprised that they're here because both of them played solid team paintball. They diversified their attacks. They were effective on all sides of the field and got big games from their big players when they needed them the most.
So let's go down to Lauren Kelly.
Thanks. I'm here with Billy Bernaccia, who's a little out of breath, understandably. But congratulations. Here you guys are again. You have definitely found your stride going into this finals match. You guys have been playing well all weekend long, whereas AC Dallas, who's meeting you in these finals, struggled in the beginning and figured it out. So going into this match, what are you thinking? How are you feeling about that matchup?
I mean, every match is a new tournament. I mean, we can't judge what they did yesterday. It's all about what we do next. What we just did is gone. We're on to the next. And this is what it's all about, getting to the finals and giving them our best game because we know they're going to bring their best game.
What are your team huddles like before a finals match?
I mean, we're just trying to, we don't get too pumped up. I mean, we like to get pumped up, but we're more about just getting focused, Get focused, play the game, play the situations, and that's it.
What do you think are some of the most important things to execute on this field layout in the most important match of the weekend?
Personally, I think staying alive and making the moves when you can. It's an aggressive field if you play it aggressive. It's a slow field if you play it slow. You got to take your chances when you have the chance.
And that's a mistake we've seen a lot of teams make is try to only play slow or only play fast. You really got to flip a coin with this field layout and be able to do both.
Yeah, absolutely. But, we like to play fast, but we could tune it down a little bit if we need to.
We've seen a couple slow points, so I know you can. Well, congratulations on moving on. Stay tuned. We got more coming up.
I give a shout out to my girlfriend Lindsay Watson and my mom.
Also, Nxl having a baby.
BDN!
Stay tuned, guys. More matches coming up after the break.
Individuals, very unique creatures on this big or don't do on those days on 5 Sundays.